I'd like to call the meeting to order. Invocation will be by Councilman Boudreaux. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilman Patin.
Heavenly Father, as we gather here in this auditorium to do the business of the Lafayette Consolidated government, we ask that you be in our midst, that you guide our thoughts, as well as our decisions, as well as our words. We ask that you continue to lead Lafayette in a positive direction, and that each person here today do the right thing all the time. We ask that you continue to look over our troops that are overseas and those who are here in country. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We welcome you to the City Parish Council meeting. We, as your representatives in the Lafayette Consolidated Government, welcome your involvement and encourage your participation. This meeting is a public hearing. If you wish to address the council on any item on this agenda, please fill out a blue Request to Address the Council form noting the agenda item number. The blue form is available to you in the foyer, and you should submit it to the council clerk, Ms. Norma Dugas, seated to my left. It is important to fill in the blue form completely and note the specific agenda item number about which you're wishing to speak. If the card is not completely filled out and it is not legible to the clerk, you will not be given the opportunity to speak. If you have materials you wish to submit to the council, please submit those to the clerk of the council, Ms. Dugas. In an effort to allow everyone an opportunity to be heard, the 5-minute rule will be in effect. Speakers shall refrain from debating, personal attacks, and from making confrontational or derogatory comments. I am requesting that the first row to my left be used for media only. Lastly, food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium. Meetings are by resolution and not by Robert's Rules of Order. There will not be a meeting on October 23rd. The following items scheduled to go to final on October 23rd will be moved to final on October 16th. Item 38 for Ordinance 0215-2012. Item 39 for Ordinance 0216-2012. Item 40 for 0217-2012. And Item 41, 0218-2012. Also, Ordinance 164-2012, introduced on August 7th, will go to final on October 16th. All assessment appeals are being pulled by the appellants from items number 7 through 12.5. I'd like to wish Tom Carroll, Director of Public Works, a happy birthday on October 11th. Do we have any council announcements? Seeing none, I'd like to give an update on the Lafayette Comprehensive Plan. As part of the Comprehensive Plan's downtown framework, the next downtown event will be Downtown Summit 1 on the evening of Tuesday, October 30th, beginning at 5:30 p.m. at the Acadiana Center of the Arts. At this public forum, the consultant will be looking for feedback on various aspects of downtown and its future. More details to come. Work continues on the overall comprehensive plan. The consultants are compiling data and issues that will lay the foundation for the next community forum series, which is in October. If you have any questions, please call Kathy Gilbert at 291-8454. Due to time constraints, I'm going to move to ceremonial presentations, item number 6, and recognize Kenneth Boudreaux. Mr. Boudreaux.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to the rest of the members for allowing this adjustment in the agenda, as well as to the administration. I have a very special presentation tonight that I think is significant to each member here as well as our public. As many of you all know, this council is no stranger to the challenges that face America, Louisiana, Lafayette, as it relates to that struggle with cancer. Both my parents died of cancer. My mother and my father didn't even get a chance to actually fight the disease. I know Councilman Nakhan's father is currently in a battle. We're going to continue to pray for him. And there are possibly other members who've been affected by it. This auditorium that we sit in today, a former council member who lost life to cancer. So it's no stranger, and I think it's fitting that we can continue to keep this issue in the forefront and keep people motivated and excited about what they do. We have long since been familiar with the outstanding efforts as it relates to the Miles Perret Cancer Services Center that they offer to this community, particularly to those suffering with those various cancers. In fact, we have one of our own employees, Becky Perret, who's the administrative secretary to the city parish president, who reminds us each year as we prepare for the games of Acadiana how the efforts of one or many could impact so many lives with all the activity that takes place at the Cajun Dome for both adult and children. Becky's enthusiasm is matched by someone else that we would like to recognize today. That person I speak of has taken the lead at the Miles Perret Cancer Services Center by providing management expertise, as well as to assure continued growth and success of the programs that not only take place there, but in the community abroad. Paula Blanchette has taken a great event and made it even better by adding creative concepts and procuring new corporate sponsorships for the game of Acadiana. To be noted, her efforts really focus on recruiting and engaging the young of our community who possibly could one day be directly affected. Not satisfied with one successful event, she planned and implemented a benefit concert to provide additional funding to support the services of the Perret's mission. So it is my opinion, and I think you would agree, that it's only befitting that we present the Distinguished Citizen Award to Paula Blanchette for her efforts and commitment. In addition to the Distinguished Citizen Award, we're going to present her with a plaque for outstanding volunteer services presented to Paula Blanchette in recognition of excellence and untold hours to assure quality assistance to those served at the Miles Perret Cancer Services Center. And it's signed by myself. So we'd just like to recognize Paula and just say thank you. The games this year you were able to attend was bigger and greater than we've ever had, and we're just looking for that continued effort in our community and looking forward to supporting that. So Paula, we thank you, and we would like to recognize you at this time.
Well, I am a little surprised. They told me this was something for the organization and not a personal recognition. To work with the Perret Center is certainly a privilege. To be recognized for it is an unexpected honor. I appreciate everything that the city and the council does to support us, and I want y'all to know I'm one of 1,200 people that volunteered to put on Games of Acadiana. So on their behalf, and on behalf of all the volunteers, I'd like to accept this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'd like now to recognize the Executive President's report, City Parish President, Mr. Joey Durrell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to ask Chief Kraft to come up to make some special presentations.
Thank you. I'd ask Mr. Shunick and Detective Baja to come forward. As most of you know, and the council was briefed throughout this investigation, the case to locate Mickey Shunick and find out what happened to her was probably the largest for our department in the history of the Lafayette Police Department, and one of the major cases among all of the different law enforcement partners who joined in with us to help in trying to find Mickey. Of course, we had plenty of citizen volunteers who, because of the assistance they offered, were able to free up our investigators to focus on different aspects of the case and not have to deal with the search part of this investigation. And there were some other people, though, who stepped up to the plate to help us. And tonight, we would like to recognize those citizens and businesses who provided invaluable assistance during this investigation. Our first recognition is for George Marcotte, if he could come up. George Marcotte has worked in the car business for 30 years, and when he saw the white pickup truck of interest in the Shunick case on TV, he contacted the police department to have a picture emailed to him so he could study that truck more closely. I guess you guys probably know that in South Louisiana, the most popular work vehicle is a white pickup truck. So we were getting literally thousands of pieces of information on white pickup trucks. But George was able to study the picture and identify the make, the model, and the year from the details in the picture, which narrowed the scope of our search. With this information, we were able to disregard many tips. Numerous people emailed pictures of white trucks to us during the investigation, and but by releasing the specific information on the truck that we were looking for, make, model, and year, we were able to reduce the amount of tips that we had to go through. We knew then what we were looking for. So he played an instrumental role early on. Everyone knows in this case, or the people who were involved in it, it was not one particular piece of information that made this case. It was a lot of different pieces of information put together by the case agent, Detective Baja. And so any little contribution that came in that could be made contributed to us being able to solve this incident. And George's information was certainly timely and helped us to identify the vehicle we were looking for and narrowed the scope of our search. So we want to recognize George Marcotte with a Distinguished Citizen Award. We have another gift too. We always see the bumper stickers. George, come back up. He looked like a little boy sitting in the principal's office back there. We always see the bumper stickers, support your local police. Well, we want to recognize our supporters with the official Lafayette Police souvenir cap. And just so you can't go around pretending to be a police officer, on the back it says LPD supporter. Orlando, roll on. Orlando represents Acadian Ambulance Air Med, and during the course of our investigation, of course, such a large area to search would have been impossible without air support, and Acadian Ambulance offered Air Med at no cost to the city or to the Shunicks to conduct geographic searches by air. And all of the time of the pilots, the fuel, the use of the aircraft was all donated by Acadian Ambulance. So we certainly want to recognize them for their assistance. Mike Dupuy, Cal Saloon. Mike and I spent a lot of time together under that Whiskey Bay Bridge at 1 o'clock in the morning and on Memorial Day, I think, and quite a bit of time together. But witnesses located Mickey's bike beneath the Whiskey Bay Bridge. And so CNC Technologies contacted our department and offered their services of sonar for the area for any other evidence. The offer included the use of personnel, equipment, and they assisted us in our investigation greatly. They located a couple of other items in Whiskey Bay. I think a stolen car was down there and some other things. So they were there daytime, nighttime, through the weekends, on the holiday. Their boat, their personnel, their sonar equipment, and their expertise. And so we want to recognize and thank CNC Technologies, Mike Dupuy and Cal Saloon for their role in the investigation.
We'll split it.
Okay. Unfortunately, not all the businesses that we wanted to recognize could be here tonight, and so certificates will be mailed to them. And those are the LSU Faces Lab, Mary Manheim, who assisted with the recovery and the examination of the remains. Texas EquiSearch, who did a great job at coming in and coordinating those citizen volunteers into organized groups and conducted grid searches throughout the city. Very professionally done and very thorough. And they searched over each other. One group would search a site and go to the next grid, and another group would come in and look in that grid. So we had a lot of different sets of eyes on the ground helping us to search for any evidence or anything that we could use in our investigation. Katana Forensics, who did the cell phone forensics on the suspect's phone. And I can tell you that it was a very difficult process. It was encrypted. He had a lot of different hidden compartments within the phone, different data that you had to access to be able to get to that, and we needed cell phone experts to be able to do that. And Cyber Forensics 360, which was another cell phone company that came in and did forensics for us as well. And I want to say that there were many companies, organizations, and citizens that were helpful in the investigation. The police department received many offers from businesses and organizations offering support, offering food, offering water. I know the first week we probably had enough water for a year. So, and when we had to move it, it was moved in moving trucks to different locations. So the willingness of the community to assist us in this investigation was tremendous. And as I said a few months ago, we wanted to recognize those folks who contributed to the clearing of this case and helping us to bring Mickey home. So, thank you.
Chief, Jim, wait. I want to say you left one little group out that I think needs to be recognized, and that is, in particular, you. I've heard nothing but positive accolades about your professionalism. I mean, in this huge undertaking, somebody had to call the shots, and we know that was you, and we appreciate that. Officer Baja, I mean, I know that I don't know the terms that y'all use, but I got the impression he was a lead investigator maybe, and I just want to tell you that this community, and I know the Shuniks, appreciate that very, very much, and I want you to know that the community recognizes the professionalism of you and of your police department. So thank you.
Thank you.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. We'll now move on to item number 5.
Ready? Item 5 is to recognize Angie Arnold, Lafayette Parish Agent and Parish Chair for the LSU Ag Center Annual Report.
Okay, thank you. I am Angie Arnold, and I'm here representing the Louisiana Cooperative Extension Service. We're also known as the County Agent's Office, and we are the educational branch of the LSU Ag Center. And if you're not for sure what that is, a lot of times we get asked, so you drive all the way from Baton Rouge every day? No, we live and work in this community, and the LSU Ag Center's campus is the entire state. So we have an office in every one of the 64 parishes, and ours is downtown, in the same office as the tax assessor and the registrar of voters. We are funded through a 3-way partnership. We receive funds from the federal level through the USDA. We are part of higher education and receive funds from LSU, and also locally we receive funds from LCG, so thank you, and also from the Lafayette Parish School Board. We link the university and research-based information to the people to help improve the lives of the citizens that live here in Lafayette Parish in these main areas: agriculture and horticulture, family and consumer sciences, and 4-H youth development. Our agricultural agents are here with us. We have Mr. Stan Dutiel and also Mr. Gerald Roberts, and they are very busy trying to serve our community on a daily basis. If you ever need to have your soil sampled, or if you're having a plant problem or insect problem, you can bring in samples, and we can send those off to have them diagnosed to determine what the problem is and how to treat those. You may have heard that we have a lot of master programs, including the Master Cattle Producer Program, Master Horseman, Master Farmer, and the Master Gardener Program. Also, our agents do a lot of field days. As you can see, Stan just recently had a forage workshop, and there were, I think, almost 90 people present. So there is a demand for the information that our agents are sharing. The Master Gardeners, you might recognize one of our latest students there in the peach-colored shirt. He hasn't graduated yet, but hopefully he'll pass the class. The Master Gardeners are kind of like a little army that they help by volunteering to disseminate the information that is learned through the university, and we could not reach nearly the people that we do without the help of our Master Gardeners, and we're very proud of the success of the recent Plant Fest that they helped to host at the horse farm. Our family and consumer science agents, we have with us Ms. Jan Couson, and also we have 2 nutrition educators, Rena Trockman and Jennifer Semino. We also have a Southern University Extension agent, Lamara Olye, and a Southern FNEP educator, Angel Jordan, and also Miss Bobby Walker is a parenting educator. And they do a lot of education, especially in the area of nutrition and also in parenting. And they are in the schools, they're in after-school programs, they do a lot of summer camps. And we are fortunate that one of our educators, Miss Rena, is Hispanic, and this weekend she is hosting a Hispanic health fair. So we're reaching many of the different citizens here in our community. I am Angie Arnold, and my coworker Charles Abair. We are 4-H agents. We have 1 program assistant, Elena Freeman, and between the 3 of us, we go to 52 club meetings every month. We have over 1,700 4-H members, and I'm sure you're familiar with the traditional 4-H club program that's here in the parish. We also do a lot of school enrichment in many different areas, including service learning, the Smart Bodies program, youth energy, and the youth wetlands program. We do evaluate our programs. They are research-based, and we do a lot of pre- and post-tests to determine the effectiveness and the impact that we're having on the youth and the citizens that we serve. One of our newest areas that we've been working in is the school garden program, and Charles, my coworker here, has been very instrumental in getting school gardens established in several of the schools listed there, thanks to the help of some of our master gardeners who partner with those schools. And research has shown that by having school gardens, that the children's attitudes towards gardening has improved, as well as their attitude towards eating more fruits and vegetables. And they're actually harvesting and cooking and eating the fruits and vegetables that they grow in the school gardens. So we just wanted to thank you for your support throughout the year, and if you ever have any issues or concerns, our work is based on advisory input, and we welcome any suggestions, or if you have any issues you would like for us to address, we'd be glad to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Once again, all assessment appeals are pulled by the appellants, so that takes care of items number 7 through 12.5. We will now move on to final ordinances through council and LPUA. This is a public hearing. Blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 5-minute rule will be in effect. Janet, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 200, 2012, a third supplemental ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council and the Lafayette Public Utilities Authority, amending and supplementing an ordinance, the General Bond Ordinance, adopted on June 29, 2004, to provide for the issuance of not exceeding $200 million principal amount of utilities revenue refunding bonds, Series 2012, of the City of Lafayette, State of Louisiana, the issuer, pursuant to the General Bond Ordinance, prescribing the form, fixing the details, and providing for the payment of principal of and interest on such bonds, executing a bond purchase agreement for the purchase of the bonds, and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
I'd like to turn it over to Councilman Brandon Shelvin, Chair of the LPUA. Mr. Shelvin.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Bertrand, you still have that motion? Thank you, sir. Got a motion by Councilman Bertrand? And a second by Councilman Boudreaux. Any discussion on this particular item by LPUA member? Seeing none. Any blue cards, Ms.?
We have some amendments to be made.
Okay.
So,
How many, Jerry?
yeah, Mr. Osborne has 2.
We'd like to suggest that the ordinance be amended. As drawn up, it named the paying agent bank. And since the introduction, we've discovered that you have banks here in the city that can be paying agent banks, and they need to be considered. And also, it may be that since it may be we can get one of the banks to facilitate the sale of the bonds. They may want to purchase some of them too. So what's suggested is that you leave it open until the sale, and then see if any of them are going to be help facilitate the sale, and then they could be named the paying agent for the bank for the bond issue.
Okay, Councilman Boudreaux has a question.
So basically what you're saying is that rather than using an out-of-state bank, we may have the opportunity to use a local bank.
Right.
If, by leaving it open, we have some local people who could now provide this service?
Yes. And also, as it may be that you have someone that help facilitate the sale. They may buy some of the bonds
In addition to
themselves.
that?
So if the underwriter finds that they're going to buy some of the bonds, they could recommend that they be named paying agent because there'd be more benefit than the cost.
Okay, I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, got a motion by Councilman Boudreaux.
This is particularly for the paying agent.
Paying agent, yes.
The identification of
Okay.
paying.
Okay,
And it appears twice in the ordinance.
Yes, sir.
okay. Second. Second by Councilman Bertrand. Do you still have a comment, Councilman Bertrand?
No, I was going to make the motion, thank you.
Okay. Okay. Any blue cards? Okay. Can you call the vote on the amendment, please?
Okay, could I have the, who made the motion in the second?
Councilman Boudreaux motion, Councilman Bertrand second.
Thank you. District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
Motion to amend is approved.
Did you have another amendment, or that was it?
No, that's the amendment.
Okay,
One amendment in two places.
okay. And, I'm sorry, Janet, could you call the vote for the ordinance as amended?
As amended, District 4?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
The ordinance as amended is approved.
I need a motion and a second from the council. Motion by Councilman Castillo, second by Councilman Terrio. I need a motion and a second on the amendment. Motion by Councilman Bertrand, a second by Councilman Kevin Nakkan. Janet, please call the roll on the amendment.
Okay. District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
The motion on the amendment is approved.
Please call the vote on the ordinance as amended.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
The ordinance as amended is approved. Ordinance 212, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council and the Lafayette Public Utilities Authority, amending Ordinance 161, 2012, to provide for an amendment to the budget of the communications system inadvertently omitted during adoption of Ordinance 161, 2012 on September 13, 2012.
Councilman Shelvin, Chair of the LPUA.
Thank you, sir. Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Bertrand,
Second.
and a second by Councilman Boudreaux. Any discussion? This particular item, seeing none. Any blue cards? Ms. Duga, any amendments? We got it right this time? All right. Janet, call the roll, please.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
The motion is approved.
I need a motion and a second from the council. I have a motion from Councilman Bertrand. Second from Councilman Kevin Nakkan. Ms. Dugan, any blue cards?
No, sir.
Janet, please call for the vote.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
The motion is approved.
We'll now move to final ordinances, council. This is a public hearing. Anyone wishing to address the council may fill out a blue sheet, which is in the foyer. The 5-minute rule will be in effect. Janet, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 199, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council declaring the building or structure located at 167 Champagne Street, Lafayette, Louisiana, owned by Linda Marie Williams and Tiffany Nicole Willis, care of Gerald J. Block, attorney appointed, to be dilapidated and dangerous to the public welfare, and ordering the condemnation of same.
I need a motion and a second from the council. I have a motion from Councilman Boudreaux. A second from Councilman Patin.
The pictures y'all have were taken this morning. As you can see, the house is a total loss, and we recommend it be condemned.
Thank you, sir. Seeing no council discussion, Ms. Dugan, any blue cards?
Stephanie Skinner.
Hi, Stephanie. Stephanie Skinner for the record. I just wanted to see the house real quick, that's all. I can keep this? Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
No other speakers.
Janet, please call for the vote.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
The motion is approved. Ordinance 201, 2012. An ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 11-12 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by adjusting revenues and expenses within the Office of the Chief Administrative Officer, Emergency Operations and Security Division, Animal Control Shelter Fund.
Need a motion and a second from the council. Have a motion from Councilman Boudreaux, a second from Councilman Andy Nakane. Ms. Virginia.
Good evening, gentlemen. Basically, this is to adjust our revenue. By charter, we must come to council as we will be billing additional to the small municipalities by increasing our budget. Our transportation and our overtime accounts are not capable of making it to the end of the year. Presently, I'm in the red in both of these accounts, and we've worked together with Ms. Laurie to adjust this, and we feel as though this will make us to the end of the year, so we'll need to bill the small municipalities a very, very minimal amount in addition to adjusting our budget.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Dugas, any blue cards?
Stephanie Skinner.
Hi, I have a question in regards to this. What is the Emergency Operations and Security Division?
Ms. Virginia, you want...
Hi, I'm
Hi, how are
Stephanie.
you? Nice to meet you. The Emergency Operations and Security Division is a division of that falls under the Chief Administrative Officer, and they perform different services for Lafayette Consolidated Government. One is when our parish is in a state of emergency, they oversee a number of things. My division falls under that division.
Yes, ma'am. Can you name a few of the things so I can write it down?
Sure.
That they're in charge of, yes.
Security for this particular building.
Okay.
They perform operations with Homeland Security.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
And basic security for our parish.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, that's all I have. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you, Ms. Virginia.
You're welcome.
Janet, please call for the vote.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
And District 4?
Yes.
The motion is approved. Ordinance 203, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette City Parish President to execute the attached agreement between the United States Department of Justice, Drug Enforcement Administration, and the Lafayette Police Department, and amending the fiscal year 11-12 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $17,202 received from the DEA and appropriating within the Lafayette Police Department.
Motion by Councilman Bertrand. A second by Councilman Andy Nakane. Ms. Dugas, any blue cards?
No, sir.
Janet, please call for the vote.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? Motion is approved. Ordinance 204, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 11-12 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing salary and benefit appropriations for a vacant building superintendent position in the Public Works Department.
Motion by Councilman Bertrand. Second by Councilman Andy Nakane. Ms. Dugas, any blue cards?
No, sir.
Janet, please call for the vote.
District 7? District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? And District 6?
Yes.
The motion is approved. Ordinance 205, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette City Parish President to enter into a railroad force account work agreement with BNSF Railway Company for BNSF Railway Company to remove sediment from the existing Walker Road drainage channel in order to improve drainage.
Motion by Councilman Bertrand. Second by Councilman Andy Nakane. Ms. Dugas, any blue cards?
No, sir.
Janet, please call for the vote.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
The motion is approved. Ordinance 206, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 11-12 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by recognizing revenues in the amount of $402,400 received from the Federal Highway Administration state transportation projects for communities with populations less than 200,000. Approving the use of existing funds in the amount of $100,600 for the required local match, project total being $503,000. Appropriating within the Traffic and Transportation Department, Traffic Services Division, and authorizing the Lafayette City Parish President to execute a contract with the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development to implement the pavement marking program for federally aid-eligible non-state routes created by the MPO.
A motion by Councilman Bertrand. Second by Councilman Andy Nakane. Ms. Dugas, any blue cards?
Stephanie Skinner.
Ms. Skinner?
Hi, Stephanie Skinner again, for the record. This money that's coming from the Louisiana Department of Transportation, and it's coming from the federal, wait, let me find myself. Yes. Recognizing revenues in the amount of $402,400 received from the Federal Highway Administration State Transportation. I want to know if any of this money is going to go to cameras. I wonder if anything, no. So it's just paved painting, correct?
That's correct. Is
Okay.
Mr. Trammell here?
Okay.
Mr. Trammell, the question is, any of this going, just very briefly?
Yes, sir. Yes.
The answer is that this is for pavement markings, the striping that goes on the streets.
Thank you, sir.
That's all we need. And so how many roads is it, Mr. Trammell, please?
There are a total of 13. There's a map I'd be happy to provide you. In fact,
I would love that, yes, sir.
Sure, that's included in the reports that we provide to the council on a regular basis. From the standpoint, I can tell you that it's, just describe them: Ambassador Caffrey from Bertrand to Johnson, West Broussard, Johnson to Ridge, Cajun Boulevard from Johnson to Cameron, Colorado Road from Ridge to Congress, Hector Conley Road from Philippine to Beaubasson, Louisiana Avenue from Carmel to Pont de Bouton, Malapart Road from University to Mills, Mud Avenue, the Evangeline Thruway to Louisiana, Patterson, Martin Luther King to Benoit, Pecan Grove, Shell to Cameron, North Pierce, Cameron to Willow, 2nd and 3rd Street from Pierce Garfield and Thruway, and East Willow from Turlings and Ambassador Caffrey Parkway.
Yes, sir. Are we using a company in Lafayette to do the pavement marking?
The pavement markings are competitively bid like any other public project, and the lowest responsible bidder will be awarded the contract.
Oh, okay, yes, sir. And, okay, I'll be in touch.
Sure.
And Ms. Skinner, if you have any questions that I can help you with, you can either email me or the council, because I can provide some of this information prior to the meeting.
I understand that, yes, sir, but it's great to have it on tape because I give them to the community. Yes, sir.
I understand.
Okay.
Councilman Pate?
Tony?
Yes.
And just real quickly, comment that when you accept funds for a specific project, it goes in that line item, and you can't use it for anything else.
This is used for this project as identified. That's correct.
And you can't use it anywhere else.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, that's it, thanks.
Yes.
Thank you. Janet, please call for the vote.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
The motion is approved. Ordinance 207, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council approving an agreement between the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government and the Louisiana Supreme Court Drug Court Office and amending fiscal year 11-12 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $579,900 to recognize grant funds, adjust manning tables, and appropriate within the Community Development Department Drug Court Office, and decrease the use of prior year fund balance in the parish general fund.
Motion by Councilman Bertrand, second by Councilman Kevin Nakkan. Ms. Dugai, any blue cards?
Stephanie Skinner.
Ms. Skinner?
Yes, Stephanie Skinner for the record. This grant fund, where does this money go to? The grant fund?
Ms. Linedecker?
Thank you.
This is grant money from the 15th Judicial District Court,
Yes, ma'am.
and it goes to our drug court office
Yes, ma'am.
so that we can operate our drug court services
Yes,
in the
ma'am.
city of Lafayette.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Dugai, any other blue cards?
Sir.
Janet, please call for the vote.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
and District 9.
Yes.
The motion is approved. Ordinance 208, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 11-12 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government to provide for adjustments to the salary and benefits of one senior center aide within the Community Development Department.
Need a motion and a second from the council. A motion from Councilman Castile. Second from Councilman Andy Nakkan. Any blue cards, Ms. Dugai? Janet, please call for the vote.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
District 9, District 1.
Yes.
The motion is approved. Ordinance 209, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 11-12 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing the receipt of $167,240 in Louisiana Job Employment Training Program funds, formerly Louisiana Employment Assistance Program, from the Louisiana Workforce Commission, and appropriating revenues within the Community Development Department, Workforce Development Division, Title 1B budget, and by adjusting salaries and benefits in the WIA Title 1B funds.
I have a motion by Councilman Terrio. Second by Councilman Andy Nakkan. Ms. Dugai, any blue cards? Janet, please call for the vote.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yes.
District 7,
Yes.
District 8,
Yes.
District 9,
Yes.
District 1, District 2.
Yes.
Motion is approved. Ordinance 210, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 11-12 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $49,980 received from the state of Louisiana and appropriating within the Community Development Department.
I have a motion by Councilman Andy Nakkan. Second by Councilman Bertrand. Ms. Dugai, any blue cards?
No, sir.
Janet, please call for the vote.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Recused.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
And District 3?
Yes.
The motion is approved. Ordinance 213, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending Ordinance 159, 2012 to provide for votes inadvertently omitted on certain amendments offered during adoption of Ordinance 159, 2012 on September 13, 2012.
Need a motion and a second. Motion by Councilman Bertrand. second by Councilman Andy Nakane. Ms. Dugan, any blue cards? Janet, please call for the vote.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
7? District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes again.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
The motion is approved. Ordinance 214, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending Ordinance 160, 2012 to provide for votes inadvertently omitted on a certain amendment offered during the adoption of Ordinance 160, 2012 on September 13, 2012.
A motion by Councilman Andy Nakane. Second by Councilman Castillo. Ms. Dugan, any blue cards? Janet, please call for the vote.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
The motion is approved.
We'll now move to announcement of vacancies on boards and commissions. Janet, please read the vacancies.
27, due to a resignation, a vacancy exists on the Lafayette Parish Emergency Medical Services Board to fill an unexpired term until February 18, 2013, then a subsequent four-year term. This is a minority appointment. 28, due to a resignation, a vacancy exists on the Industrial Development Board to fill an unexpired term until January 13, 2014. Individuals wishing to submit a resume for the above volunteer vacancy must be a registered voter and a resident of Lafayette Parish. 29, due to a resignation, a vacancy exists on the Lafayette Parish Bayou Vermilion District to fill an unexpired term until September 21, 2014. 30, due to a term expiration, a vacancy will exist on the Board of Zoning Adjustment for a 5-year term effective June 30, 2012. Individuals wishing to submit a resume for the above volunteer vacancy must be a registered voter and a resident of the corporate limits of the City of Lafayette. The individual must also be able to prove ownership of property owned within Lafayette Parish. 31, due to a resignation, a vacancy will exist on the Board of Zoning Adjustment to fill an unexpired term until June 30, 2013. Individuals wishing to submit a resume for the above volunteer vacancy must be a registered voter and a resident of the corporate limits of the City of Lafayette. The individual must also be able to prove ownership of property owned within Lafayette Parish. Individuals wishing to submit a resume for the above volunteer vacancies must be a registered voter and a resident of Lafayette Parish. 32, due to a term expiration, a vacancy will exist on the Lafayette City Parish President's Awareness Committee on Citizens with Disabilities for a 2-year term effective November 15, 2012. Individuals wishing to submit a resume for the above volunteer vacancy must be a registered voter and a resident of Lafayette Parish. 33, due to a term expiration, a vacancy will exist on the Transportation Policy Committee to the MPO for a 4-year term effective November 19, 2012. Individuals wishing to submit a resume for the above volunteer vacancy must be a registered voter and a resident of Lafayette Parish. 34, due to a term expiration, a vacancy will exist on the Lafayette Preservation Commission for a 4-year term effective November 19, 2012. Individuals wishing to submit a resume for the above volunteer vacancy must be a registered voter and must reside in the unincorporated areas of Lafayette Parish. Act 472 of the 2008 Louisiana Legislative Session, now codified as Louisiana Revised Statute 42-1124-2-1, requires financial disclosure under certain circumstances. Resumes are to be forwarded to Norma A. Dugas, Clerk of the Council, P.O. Box 4017C, Lafayette, Louisiana 70502, no later than noon Tuesday, October 16th, with council appointments to be made on November 6, 2012.
We'll now move to nominations. Janet, please read each appointment.
Item 35 is an appointment to the Lafayette Public Trust Financing Authority for a 5-year term effective October 7th, 2012. We have one resume from John T. Arsenault, who is the incumbent.
Need someone from the council to make an appointment. Mr. Kevin Narcan appoints John Arsenault. Nominates. Any others? That's it. Janet, will you please call the roll on the appointment?
District 1,
Arsenault, yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yes.
District 7, District 8,
Yes.
District 9.
Yes.
John T. Arsenault is appointed.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Is there any blue cards, Ms. Dugas?
Yes,
Yeah.
John Arsenault.
Mr. Arsenault? You good? Okay, item number 36, Janet?
Have a good night.
Number 36 is the appointment to the Lafayette Planning and Zoning Commission to fill an unexpired term until June 4, 2013. The person must reside in the unincorporated area of Lafayette Parish. We have one resume from Michael W. Brown, and there is no incumbent.
Nominate Brown.
Mr. Boudreau appoints Mr. Brown, nominates Mr. Brown. Any others? Seeing none, Janet, please call for the vote on Mr. Brown.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Mr. Brown?
District 4,
Yes.
District 5.
Yes.
District 6.
Yes.
District 7. District 8.
Yes, Brown.
District 9.
Yes.
Mr. Michael Brown is appointed. Number 1? That's because I called you twice earlier. Sorry. Okay. Item 37 are appointments by council members or the city parish president or area mayors. District 2 has appointed Danny LeBlanc to serve on the Lafayette City Parish Recreation Advisory Board for a term of 4 years, effective 10/15 of 2012. The city parish president has appointed Jim Cady to the Citizens Advisory Commission to the MPO for a term of 4 years, beginning 9/17 of 2012.
We will now move to introductory ordinances, zoning, and council in globo. I need a motion and a second from the council to consider all introductory ordinances in globo, including zoning and council. Have a motion by Councilman Andy Nakkan, a second by Councilman Kevin Nakkan. Janet, please read the title of these ordinances.
Ordinance 235, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the official map of the city of Lafayette, providing for the annexation of additional land into the corporate limits of the city of Lafayette, Louisiana. 221 South Park Road annexation, located generally northwest of Mineral Road, southeast of South Park Road, and northeast of West Pinhook Road, which is located within Lafayette City Parish Council District Number 7 for voting purposes, District 7. Ordinance 216, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the official map of the city of Lafayette, providing for the annexation of additional land into the corporate limits of the city of Lafayette, Louisiana. 2871 Vero School Road annexation, located generally north of La Nouvelle Road, east of Vero School Road, and south of Ambassador Caffrey Parkway, which is located within Lafayette City Parish Council District Number 7 for voting purposes, District 7. Ordinance 217, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the official map of the city of Lafayette, providing for the annexation of additional land into the corporate limits of the city of Lafayette, Louisiana. 912 West Butcher Switch Road annexation located generally east of North University Avenue, north of West Butcher Switch Road, and west of Melanie Lane, which is located within Lafayette City Parish Council District Number 2 for voting purposes, District 2. Ordinance 218, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the official map of the City of Lafayette, providing for the annexation of additional land into the corporate limits of the City of Lafayette, Louisiana, 129 South Park Road annexation, located generally northeast of Tubing Road, southeast of South Park Road, and northeast of Tideland Road, which is located within Lafayette City Parish Council District Number 7 for voting purposes, District 7. Ordinance 219, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 11-12 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by adjusting revenues and expenditures in the Juvenile Detention Facility Fund, the Library Fund, and the Public Health Unit Maintenance Fund to reimburse the City General Fund and the Parish General Fund for fire and extended coverage insurance premiums and workers' compensation coverage insurance premiums paid on behalf of other funds from 2009 through 2012. Ordinance 220, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 11-12 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing the use of prior year fund balance by $250,000 and appropriating within the legal department. Ordinance 221, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending ordinance number 256, 2004, and ordinance number 42297 to amend and restate fees for programs and facilities within the Department of Parks and Recreation. Ordinance 222, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 11-12 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $219,852 and accepting the transfer of the federal interest in used compressed natural gas, buses, fare boxes, and other related equipment received from the Federal Transit Administration, FTA, Section 5307 Urbanized Area Formula Grant, number LA 90X39201, and appropriating these funds along with the required match in the amount of $45,927 within the Traffic and Transportation Department, Transit Division. Ordinance 223, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 11-12 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues received from the Federal Highway Administration Recreational Trails Program in the amount of $89,300, increasing the use of net loss use of fund balance by $22,325, appropriating within the Traffic and Transportation Department, Planning Division, and authorizing the Lafayette City Parish President to execute an agreement with the Office of State Parks, Department of Culture, Tourism, and Recreation for the disbursement of monies for Phase 2 of the Attakapas-Ishak Trail. Ordinance 224, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending the fiscal year 11-12 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues and appropriating funding for expenses projected to be received from transactions at the public compressed natural gas refueling station owned and operated by Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government, and appropriating within the Public Works Department, and authorizing the Lafayette City Parish President to execute any and all needed contracts for operations and maintenance of Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government's public compressed natural gas refueling station. Ordinance 225, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council authorizing the filing of a grant application under the fiscal year 13 Environmental Protection Agency's Brownfield Community-Wide Assessment Grant Program. Ordinance 226, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council amending Section 94-87 of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Code of Ordinances, establishing participation fees and charges for an opt-out from the remote meter reading program. Ordinance 227, 2012, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council declaring the building or structure located at 1216 South Orange Street, Lafayette, Louisiana, owned by Helen Charles, Marjorie Marie Arsenault, Mary Ann Arsenault, Robert Arsenault, Sally Ann Arsenault, and Ronnie Arsenault, care of Gerald J. Block, attorney appointed, to be dilapidated and dangerous to the public welfare, and ordering the condemnation of same.
Ms. Dugas, any blue cards on the introductory ordinances?
First speaker is Dale Brasso concerning item number 49.
My name is Dale Brasso. I come from 221 Jalen Road, unincorporated area, Lafayette Parish. What I'm coming up front here about is this issue on charging so much for them to read the meters. I was under the impression that we already had meter readers with LUS and that they were already being paid. So I'm trying to figure out how they determine this cost for the few people that chose to do away with the new meters. I know personally of an issue with a new meter that basically affects a person. He had a $1,200 bill in 2 months, $600 a month. They changed the meter and it's down to $300 a month, and they still won't claim that the meter was the problem. But this thing is not resolved. They put the person on back order, whatever to solve it, and they put it on hold. But they still send a bill that they owe $1,200, and they want them to come up with a pay plan for it. That's not the issue. The issue is, if the meter was at fault, then let them come face forward and admit it, because they changed the meter and it changed the reading. So something was wrong. Common sense would tell you that. But my question today is, on this charge, are we charging everybody for meter reading service? Because this is a service. That's what I look at it as, a service. And are we charging the ones with the new meters a charge for the meter reader that they have? Or are we going to reduce their costs because they don't have a meter reader? You know, I'm trying to understand where we're going with this. Looks like we're nitpicking and we're adding charges just to punish the people that have a disagreement with your meter. And that's what it looks like. And I would hope that before you vote on this at final ordinance, that you find out how many complaints you have, how were they handled, and when were they settled. Because if they weren't settled, they're still on an issue. And then come to find out how much, what are you talking about, a meter reader? How much salary are you talking about? How did they figure this cost? Meter reader, I read meters for Gulf State Utilities. I was the lowest paid person on the payroll as a meter reader. So I don't think you're talking about a lot of cost for a meter reader. And I would hope they would have a way to justify this cost that they're trying to implement on the homeowner. I think we really need to realize and focus back on service. Focus back on service in your community and stop trying to nickel and dime them to death. As a public servant, that's what I'm looking at. I look at service. If I don't have service, I don't need you. I don't need this community. I move, I leave. But if we have good service, people will stay. That's why they come here. They say we're nice. Say we smile. Say we treat them good and we feed them well. Well, we should give them, everybody, even the people that are paying the bill, good service. That's the first thing you should have, service. Focus on that and try not to nickel and dime them, please. And look at this cost. Really look at it and see if that's the true cost that it'll take to take care of what they're looking for, meter reader. Because we already have meter readers, by the way. They're already on the payroll, from what I understand, and they've been reading meters for a long time. So why all of a sudden we got to charge extra for them? And I know the answer to it, but I'm still going to put it out there. Thank you very much.
Hang on one second, Mr. Brasso. Councilman Boudreau.
Mr. Bresser, just to address a couple of your concerns, you bring up a good one, okay? Because when this first started, I kind of compared it to our recycling, but this is what I've concluded, and this is why I am supporting this as it exists today. When I compared it to the recycling, our ordinance for recycling says everyone must have it. Our ordinance for digital meters could have said the same thing. Because of those individuals who came forward and expressed a concern, we afforded that opt-out. And those people who wanted to opt out, the ones who spoke, indicated that they would support a fee. They knew that going in advance, that it would be a fee, because the only alternative to a fee is to design the ordinance in such a way that you didn't have a choice, okay? Now, what we have learned through this process, keep in mind, the meter is the property of the government. The meter is not the property of the homeowner. It's LCG's meter, it's LUS's meter, okay? I then supported the fact that it was really a courtesy to allow them to say, okay, I don't want it. They actually didn't even have to get permission to change their meter. So at the end of the day, we'll see what happens at final adoption, and we'll see what the comments are at that time. But at the end of the day, the way I view it, so you could know as we go forward, is that there was a group of people who are not comfortable with the electronic meters, okay? The alternative to saying that you have to take it is that there's an opt-out, but there's going to be a cost. At that point, they said, okay, a small fee, when it comes back with the numbers, we'll look at the fees and we'll see if the fees are reasonable going forward. And then they didn't even have to give them that option. And my comparison through my work got satisfied when I say, okay, why must people who are not using recycling services pay for it regardless? And that's why I've been promoting because I say, you're using it, you pay for it, use it. But the difference is the way the ordinance read. I could guarantee you that an ordinance that would have read everybody must have a digital meter would have passed. And an ordinance that would have said that you could opt out without a cost would not have passed. So that's kind of where we are today, and that's why that cost is there. And the cost was from day one. They said the cost would be based on, the reason they didn't have the number back then was because they needed to see how many people there would be. If there was 10,000 people who opt out, this cost would be different. But since I think the number is somewhere in the vicinity of 400 and something people, that's why the cost is what it is. As it relates to us having meter readers, yes, we do. But for about the past 3, maybe 4 budget cycles, as meter readers have retired, they haven't been replaced because they were moving to this digital program. So that's what's going on, okay?
I appreciate your comments, Mr. Broussard. Boudreau, I'm sorry.
It's not election year for me,
Not
but I would
yet,
like
I
my
know,
name to be.
Boudreau, I got you. But just for a point of matter, please look into that concern I have for that individual that's 80-something years old, has a $1,200 bill right now being sent to his house, saying he still owes it, and the meter was left on for 2 months, removed, and a new meter was put, and his bill dropped back down to the $350, $300 he was used to paying. And they still haven't addressed that. They still keep putting that young lady on hold, keep telling them they're going to call back. They don't call back. Service is what I'm talking about. If we don't have service, we don't need anybody sitting up there telling us what to do. But I appreciate your concern. And that's what my concern is about. I'm not concerned about whether we have a new meter or not. If they're charging or overcharging for their meters or something's going wrong with them, somebody needs to address that concern. And if I want to know how many complaints we have. How many true complaints? Because I'm being told that some people, when you call to remove your meter or change them, they're stressing the point. You're going to have to pay extra. You don't want to do that. People shouldn't be doing that. They should be letting people make their own decisions on what they want to do. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And for the record, the fees and charges for participation in the opt-out program, manual meter reading service charge is $12.20 a month. Reread service charge is $25. Charge to pull and test the meter is $50. Ms. Dugas, any other blue cards?
Stephanie Skinner on items 45, 48, 49, and 50.
Okay. And Stephanie Skinner for the record. Okay, Ms. Norma, would you please start with the first one, and I'll go quick.
45.
Thank you so much, ma'am. All righty. This one right here is an ordinance of the Lafayette City Parish Council in the consolidated government, increasing revenues in the amount of $219,852 and accepting the transfer of the federal interest in used compressed natural gas buses, fare boxes, and other related equipment received from the Federal Transit Administration. What's the other equipment? That's what I'd like to know. Pretty please.
I will be able to answer that for you. I do not have that information right now, but I can get you that via email or before final. Obviously, I can get
Yes,
that
sir,
for you
but I've
tomorrow.
tried to get some information from you, and just email me back, because I've sent you an email on, because they're requesting some information, so just email me back, and I'll be thankful.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers, Ms. Dugas?
Roderick Robinson, item 39 and 50.
Okay, it took me a little while to get back now. It sounds like it's on. Okay. I got a little upset last time I was over here and stuff, and I apologize for it, but, you know, I kind of blow out. I like this lady, like to have everything on the record right there, and people need to know what you have. Whatever's behind here, people don't know about it. They don't read everything. They watch the show, they see what's going on, and that's how they find out about it. So, behind meeting with y'all behind closed doors, there's nobody no good. It needs to be, if people got questions, ask in the front. People want to learn something, ask in the front of y'all. Some people say it's not a learning class, but I think it is learning for the public. That's the only way you're going to get the public involved, instead of it's only going to be government. You should put government just by itself, people don't hear about it. Y'all make your own rules, regulations, and all that, and people don't have no say, so it's too late. So this is the only thing I always talked about, why, if y'all annexing property, this one here looks like it's a particular address, so hopefully we're not skipping no places in there, because we don't want nobody getting no free milk. So that's the kind of stuff if you annex property and stuff like that, hopefully it's just that individual that wants it to be in Lafayette, in the city. If it skips some other people that don't want, it skips them. If you call it free milk, call whatever you want. It's not, you don't pull them other people in they don't want. It's supposed to be people that want to be in. You just don't demand people to come in. You don't demand businesses to come in. It's got to be on their want to. And then whenever you take these people in, I think you need to have it where you get electricity. You got your city sewer, your city water, all that first. Instead of waiting 15, 20 years, y'all got a bunch of them still don't have no city sewer and stuff like that. Probably still don't have city electricity. So why take stuff that y'all can't repair your old sections of Lafayette and stuff like that, make it more better, put the money in the people that been paying the city taxes for a long time, instead of separating it out to new incomers. Get the stuff there first where your money comes in, then it's good. Because whenever you annex, you're actually hurting the rural area. Because then you're taking the revenue out of the rural area and putting it in the city. So that really comes out to no consolidated government. City money stays in the city, rural area stays in the rural area. Consolidated don't mean nothing. And that's what, if people want to be in the city, let it just be that address that wants to be in the city. If you skip 100 acres of land, hey, them other people's out. If you skip one lot, then people's out. Call it what you want, free milk, free anything. It's wrong for y'all to pass and put people into it. You can say voting purposes, anything else, no. People don't want to be in it, they don't want to be in it. Wait till they pass on, whatever, the kids might want to decide to put it in or something, then they'll come and ask you, well, annex it. Take care of your old part of the city first, make it good, sidewalks, do what you want with it. People that have been paying taxes for a long time. So that's what I don't understand, and I know I want to talk about the trash, but we're not on that part, so I don't want to get in trouble. So, but before you annex property, do that. Going back on, I think on 50 or something like that, y'all, talking about another building. Hopefully the building don't have no roof on it or something like that there, where the sunlight might sunburn them coming through. But if it got some kind of roof, let's think about keeping them people off of the properties that could endanger them. 'Cause if you got property out there and they cut their grass around it, I don't care what the building looks like. People's not supposed to be on the property, so they shouldn't endanger the public. That's where they don't need to be on it. Enforce them laws. And I don't think y'all enforcing the laws. I think it's the same people breaking into one place and move around. Might be some government people or hot paid by government people. Well, I don't like this house. I don't know. That's just stuff to get in my mind. But I'm a poor man. Some of them places, man, was a lot better than I lived in when I was growing up. And they got a roof, some kind of thing, as long as they cut their grass around it. I believe in cutting your grass around it, keep it up. But the other stuff, you don't own that property, you shouldn't be on it. I don't care who you are, kids, grown-ups, anybody. Government people, anybody. If you're going out there and take pictures, that's government people, should not be on it. Unless you got the landowner's permission. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Dugan, next speaker. Janet, please call for the vote for the introductory items in Globo.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yes.
District 7?
Yes.
District 8?
Yes.
District 9?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
And District 2?
Yes.
The motion is approved.
This meeting is adjourned. I'd like to open up the Lafayette Public Power Authority meeting. This is a public hearing. Blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 5-minute rule is in effect. Janet, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance LPPA 225, a series ordinance of the Lafayette Public Power Authority, LPPA, authorizing the issuance and sale of electric revenue bonds, Series 2012, of the Lafayette Public Power Authority, providing for certain approvals thereof, prescribing the terms and provisions of such bonds, providing for approval of a preliminary official statement in connection with the sale of such bonds, and authorizing the distribution thereof, and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
I have a motion by Councilman Bertrand. Second by Councilman Andy Nakir. We do have several amendments on this. I'd like to call it Mr. Osborne. You briefly, I guess, go over the ordinance and then the amendments that you suggest for the council to make.
This is providing for the issuance of bonds of the Lafayette Public Power Authority for the purpose of providing improvements to the Rodemacher plant. It provides that these bonds would be on a parity with the outstanding bonds of LPPA, and it provides for the sale and issuance of the bonds and delivery of the bonds and the deposit of the proceeds of the bond issue in a fund to be used for the purpose of constructing improvements to that plant. The maximum amount of the bonds would be $88 million. The bonds will run for a period of 19 years. And they'll be payable in the same manner as other Rodemacher bonds. The amendment that's for consideration is the same, is regarding the paying agent, and is the same as I described for the City of Lafayette refunding bonds.
I need, Ms. Davey, we're going to, for the amendment, the same as, can we state it with the statement the same way?
Yes, sir. With regard, and it has to do with the paying agent issue, same issue as with the previous bond
That we're going to leave it blank, correct?
You're going to leave it blank in the form of the bond, and you're going to leave it open to be named later in the base part of the resolution. Instead of naming it, you'll leave it so that you can select it at a later date.
I need a motion and a second. A motion by Councilman Kevin Nakir, second by Councilman Bertrand. Janet, please call the roll on the vote. The amendment.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6? District 7? District 8? District 9? District 1? District 2? District 3? The motion to amend is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Dugas, any blue cards?
Yes, sir. First speaker is Douglas Nguyen.
Hello, my name is Doug Wynn. I reside in Lafayette's District 3. I'm addressing you today about the ordinance of the LPPA regarding final adoption authorizing the issuance and sale of electric revenue bonds to the tune of $88 million to upgrade the Rotamaker coal-fired plant, which is located over 100 miles from here. I encourage you to table or vote against the ordinance so the public may have more time to address this very important topic. I would like to request a 1 to 2 month delay of the vote so other options can be explored for consideration. Other options that might come into the mix may include renewable energy, energy efficiency measures, wind energy, solar power, and natural gas. $88 million is a large chunk of change, and 18 or 19 years is a long time to be locked into coal. I feel the public may have more questions, and I would hope that you consider everything before your informed decision is reached. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilman Bertrand?
I'd like to ask Mr. Huval to step up to the mic. Mr. Huval, I think this is a great opportunity maybe to address some of the questions that I've heard with this last speaker and with a couple of emails that I got regarding Rotamaker and our involvement with Rotamaker, what the improvements are we're making, why we're making them, and what our particular what the future lies for us as a community as well as a partner within Rotamaker over the next 20 years. And maybe you can explain some of that so that the folks understand that a little bit better.
Appreciate the opportunity. The Rotamaker Coal Plant is a project in which the City of Lafayette joined with CLECO and the Louisiana Energy and Power Authority, also known as LEPA, to invest in back in the late 70s and early 80s. The construction of the plant was necessary because the federal government had passed some laws that prohibited constructing new natural gas or oil-fired power plants. At that time, Lafayette had only natural gas power plants because we were in the middle of natural gas country. But that was going to be prohibited by federal law. So the only alternatives at that time were coal and nuclear. Lafayette joined with CLECO and LEPA in this coal plant. After that time, the federal government changed their minds and said you could build something else besides coal, but that was all we had at that juncture. It started to be a tremendous investment for our community because the cost of delivered coal tends to remain very stable over the long term and has proven that. In the case of natural gas, the cost of natural gas fluctuates significantly because of where the spot market is. We've seen natural gas prices be 4 times higher than what they are today. We've seen it half of what it is today. Even at today's lower natural gas prices, it's still cheaper to generate power with our coal plant. The good news is that plant's operated for 30 years, operated very well, has been well maintained. The owners, CLECO, LEPA, and Lafayette meet regularly to ensure that the proper investments are being made, the proper upkeep to the plant is being made. And as a result, we have a plant that, even though it's 30 years, has at least 20 more years of useful life. The plant is in very good condition. What's changed, however, is that there's been some new federal requirements through the EPA that deal with the discharges of the fuel of the plant. We have been studying this for some time. You may recall at budget meetings before this year, so I'm talking about 2011, that I came before this council and talked about a potential of us having to spend $175 million total. That'd be for all the owners. Lafayette's a 50% owner of that plant, so we would have to pay half of that cost to be able to meet these new EPA requirements. That was on the front page of the paper. The next day it was covered extensively by the news media, so this is not something that just came up. We've been talking about it for some time. As I've given this council and the LPUA updates through the year, inclusive of updates during our budget session, and as we've prepared to issue these bonds, we've concluded and so have all the other owners and their experts have concluded that taking this approach of adding emissions controls at the plant that meet and exceed the federal requirements is the smartest move for us to take. Another option could have been to go with some type of natural gas plant, but we've already seen what natural gas costs even today are more expensive than it would be to generate with coal, even with these improvements that we're making. And then we'd be putting all our eggs in one basket. We'd be following wherever the natural gas prices flow, and that means that when natural gas prices are 4 times higher, and all of a sudden customers' bills are 2 and 3 times higher than what they would otherwise have been. So having diversity is something that the bond rating agencies look favorably on. It's something that we see across our industry as being the prudent thing to do, and we believe in this case here with a plant that has been run so well, that is in such good condition, that this investment for 19 years to be able to make these emissions improvements is going to keep that plant in a position that we can still provide the reliable, low-cost power that our community has asked for and deserves. The increase in costs related to the bond sales are offset partially by the refunding of the bonds that this council approved earlier, and actually the cost impacts of this are very, very small, especially when you compare them to what the volatility of natural gas prices are. So from our perspective, this has been aired out very often before this council and before the public and through the press. This is not something we've just brought up at the last minute. It's something that has been well thought through, we brought in the appropriate experts to help us assess this, because we don't do these things, we don't deal with coal plants every day or new coal plants or upgrades to coal plants. We brought people in that have gone through this before. This is something other utilities around the country are doing, taking the same type of action that we're taking, and we strongly recommend to move forward with this. There is a time frame on this also that becomes important to us. By 2015, we have to have these upgrades made, and being that all these types of upgrades are being applied to all coal plant providers in the country, it becomes a supply and demand issue. We're fortunate at this point that us and CLECO and LIPA moved early to start securing the resources necessary to try to assess this, because other systems that waited a little bit later are finding themselves behind the 8 ball, and they may have a hard time meeting the deadlines that are imposed. So we're at a point now when the schedule we've laid out before this council, before public level, we plan to do, we're still on that schedule, and we need to keep that schedule to move forward with this initiative.
And would you explain the cost involved if we don't make our deadlines?
The cost is the costs are unsure. First of all, there are penalties that could be assessed against us. We could actually be mandated to have to shut down the plant. That plant provides 60% of the electricity used in Lafayette. Without that plant, somebody's lights are going to be out 24 hours a day. There's no way to get around that. We don't have enough capacity elsewhere to be able to cover for that. So it's uncertain as to what all the consequences might be, but we know the consequences are strong on us not being able to complete this on time.
Well, I'm getting the sense, and I'm trying to clear this up for some other folks, because I think they're getting the sense that we can just switch gears or change horses in the middle of the stream. We can reinvest in ourselves and go to a fully gas-operated plant. And, I'm trying to create the situation for you to explain to them why they should understand we're doing what we're doing and why we have reached the conclusions that we've reached. not only from a cost standpoint, but also from a service and price point to the consumer point of view.
Right. Well, there's no doubt that when we look at all three of those factors, that the best action for us to take is to move forward with this initiative. We had an invitation several weeks ago to speak to one of the environmental groups in town that was very interested in this, had a very good turnout, and once we went through the whole explanation, once I explained how we got to where we are, what issues have come our way that we've had to deal with, I saw a lot of heads nodding in support and understanding what we need to do. Obviously, there are many people that believe that there's other environmentally friendly alternatives out there, and we're certainly, if the community wants to pursue that, we're certainly interested in looking at it. However, those are all very high-cost alternatives. Based on the dictates that we have before us now, the action that we're taking is the only prudent action that we can really take. Anything short of that is going to leave us with dealing with some issues that are going to be very, very difficult to deal with.
Thank you, Mr. Huval. Mr. Chair, that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Huval, I have a couple other councilmen. Councilman Boudreaux.
Thank you. Terry, just to follow up, Mr. Bertrand actually addressed one of the issues I could recall in a meeting that we had with some of the LPUA members, that the cost, as you said, would be significant for non-compliance, and I thought we had a number at that time of some of the examples of some of the type fines that could possibly be administered if we don't come into compliance. As I appreciate it, and is that a lot of this is being driven by two factors. One, of course, we are 50% owner of that facility, so it's ours, but more importantly, I guess, or actually a greater concern is some of these new regulations. And if it would not be for a lot of these new regulations, in particular as it relates to emissions, some of this would not be necessary at this time. You have spent a lot of time leading up to what the decision has become with our congressional delegation, trying to, I guess, intercept some of this activity. Did we have any success at all at kind of sizing this down? I know you and a number of other utility directors and professionals was trying to address this issue. Did we have any luck at all with Congress or with our local folk as far as trying to downsize some of this so that cost factor would not be brought to local municipalities such as this?
As this was developing, and it's been developing for some time now, this has been probably at least the last 4, 5, 6 years we've been seeing this come down. So we've been as engaged as we can be with our congressional delegation. But what happened is the last several years, the EPA has interpreted the Clean Air Act as giving them some much broader authority than at least many of us had envisioned before. And there's probably still some questions about that. But so the role of Congress to be able to mitigate this got taken out of the equation because it became something that the EPA ended up issuing an order on, or multiple orders. Some of that has been fought through the courts and kicked back, and the EPA kicks back something going forward, but you can kind of see what the general direction is and where they're going. And at some point with these deadlines before us, we can't just sit and wait, we have to move. So we've pushed as hard as we could, but when it got taken out of Congress's hands and it became something that was driven through the EPA directly, then there wasn't very much room for us to do. We've participated in some of the lawsuits that's been involved in questioning some of the rules in place, and some of that has been reconsidered and reissued again. But even though they might fine-tune it, the direction that we're taking here is consistent with where we see the direction of this country going forward and the emissions of coal plants.
Yeah, all right. That's all I have at this time.
Thank you. Councilman Pate.
Mr. Huval, maybe you can give a little additional perspective in a different, broader view. We're 50% owner.
Yes, sir.
Of the plant. Is the money that we're talking about here our portion of the 50% upgrade, or are we bearing the total responsibility of the upgrade?
It's our portion. This is the entire project is going to be somewhere around the 150, 160 million arena, and our share of that will be 50% of it based on our 50% ownership of the plant.
How is the partnership broken up as far as ownership in the plant?
We own 50%, CLECO owns 30%, and LIPA owns 20%.
All right, and who, now take it the next level, do we provide any operation at the plant, or we're just owners of the plant?
CLECO is the operating partner of the plant. CLECO has two other plants at that location. So they have the staffing and so on, and what we do, we're one of the, obviously the managing partner, one of the managing partners of the group. So on the big picture stuff, on the direction the plant's going into, so we get involved in that, but on the day-to-day operations, CLECO is the operator of that plant.
So you can say it's our building, but they're running it for us.
That's correct.
Do we pay the same rates as the CLECO people, customers?
The cost of the power generated at the plant is based on a number of things. One is how much you utilize in your share of the plant. Secondly, is how much you're buying the coal for. For example, we might decide to buy coal from a different vendor than CLECO might decide to buy coal from. We have our own coal trains, our own coal cars that deliver our coal. So there are some circumstances where the price that we might pay for the power might be different because of the decisions that we make here. But as far as those decisions that are made across the board on how we operate the plant or on things such as this, then those costs to each of us are the same.
3 or 4 years ago, didn't we sell our rail cars and then purchase aluminum cars that enabled us to bring 10% more per year because it's based on weight on the tracks?
That's correct. I don't remember what the percentage was, but that was indeed the case, where it became more cost-effective for us to be able to buy aluminum cars because of the lighter weight of the cars. We could put more coal in those cars, and therefore, from the standpoint of that capacity being greater, we got more coal to the plant, so it provides, there was some cost effectiveness in it, that we didn't have to have as many train rides back and forth from the coal mine to the plant, and that saved us money through that. So we did make that decision, and this council, this LPUA, supported that.
One last question on the comparison with the term of the contract for coal versus a contract term for natural gas. In that arena, what's the comparison of the two?
Well, for a coal contract, you may have a multiple-year contract. It could be, we may actually do it in proportions, and maybe some of it might be for 1 year, some of it might be for 3 years, some of it for 5 years. But somewhere around the 5, 6, 7-year time range is what we kind of typically look at in coal contract arrangements. Natural gas on the other side of that discussion is based on spot price. We could purchase natural gas based on futures prices, but our experience has been is every time you look at what the natural gas futures prices are, they're always higher than what you're paying, what you could pay for it today. So I'd always have the difficult justification as why I'm willing to pay a premium for something that might last long when I can't really predict what's going to happen to the cost of natural gas 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 2 years down the road. There's not, if you just pricing based on, we had a bid or a type arrangement, it would be very difficult to justify getting a long-term contract with natural gas, because there's no question you have to pay higher now than what the spot price would be today. So we tend to buy on the spot price. There are some situations where we might see that there is a gas price maybe for part of our portfolio for several months down the road, maybe 5, 6 months down the road, where the price is low enough there, and we think gas prices are going to go up in the meantime. We might lock in for some of that, but generally we're operating on the spot price with natural gas, whereas we're entering into longer-term contracts with coal.
Are you knowledgeable to the extent where we could talk a little bit about solar power? Have y'all done research on that?
I know a little bit about it.
Okay, on the solar power aspect, do you have any idea, or could you give me a little information on what it would take, say if you were to try to replace 60% usage here in Lafayette with solar power?
Well, that would really not make any sense to even try that, and I'll tell you why. First of all, I don't know how many customers in Lafayette would take the position that we're fine with solar power if the sun isn't shining to have our power out. Okay, so if you don't have any customers that's willing to say that they're willing to take a power outage because the sun isn't shining that day or the wind isn't blowing because the wind turbine isn't turning, then you got to have a second set of generators to cover for those particular instances. But basically, you have to have far more generation than you need to be able to accomplish that. The cost of solar power is also quite expensive, even though the fuel is free. That the fact of the matter is the cost of installing it, the initial cost of purchasing it is quite expensive. The university actually went through some studies during the Beau Soleil project, and we helped to sponsor that to get an idea as to what this stuff might cost. And even with the current payback of rebates that's available of 50% from the state and 30% from the federal government, so if you only pay 20% of the cost of it, you're still talking about a payback time of somewhere between 8 and 12 years, depending on what numbers you use to calculate that. And we allow customers to do it today. So really kind of what's kind of, an approach that we've taken is that if people really want to see solar power, that they can actually invest in putting up solar panels on the roofs of their own homes. And they can benefit from that because they generate some of the power they need themselves, still being connected to our system in case the sun isn't shining on a particular day. And they get the benefit of the lower bill as a result of that. But still, when you even look at it from a financial perspective, unless you're really driven to wanting to use some alternative energy, it is a long-term payback, and it is expensive to get into that. And we haven't heard from our customers any hue and cry for us to be making major investments in solar and wind power. And if we did, and if you did, then we'd also be having that discussion, and we'd be talking about how much it's really going to cost us to do that, what the cost is for that, and it can be very, very expensive. Louisiana is not an area that's good for solar power because there's a lot of cloud cover that occurs. And it's not good for wind power because you take a look at the wind velocities that we have on a regular basis. It's not at all like it is in the Midwest, where you have a lot more capacity for wind and for solar. So Louisiana is not a very good place for that. But like I said, there's still some customers that have elected to go with solar power, and we have a net metering rate that our council passed. An LPUA passed some years back that allows us to be able to tie with those customers so that when the solar power isn't generating very much power, they can still get power from us.
So there is no reserve capacity for power with solar power?
Not on our system that we own. Now, there are customers that have solar panels that are intertied with our system, so we have some of that, but really that's still a small amount of power.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Councilman Andy Nakane.
Yes, Chairman, I understand we have quite a few more cars to go through. I think we should address those. I'd like to reserve my comments till we get our speakers done.
Sounds great. Ms. Dugas, next speaker.
Lillian Miller.
My name is Lillian Miller. I live in Councilman Boudreaux's district. I would just like you to pause for 60 days, 2 months, so we can educate the community before we make a 20-year decision. I think it's really critical. There's a reason for the Clean Air Act. People are getting sick, but I'm more concerned about the economic reasons. We have a wonderful resource right here in Louisiana. The technology for natural gas is at a point where it's never been before, and so I think instead of paying people in Washington and Oregon, we need to put the jobs and the money back in Lafayette. And if we can have optic fiber, surely we can get off coal.
Thank you, ma'am. Ms. Dugas, next speaker.
Haywood Martin.